Hi, I'm Chrissy Cordingley, and this is my show, The Flare Up Show, and this special episode is produced in partnership with Clarissa Burt and In the Limelight Media. I originally created this show to advocate for myself through chronic illness, but today it's grown into a wellness show that's listened to all over the world. I love to practice well-being for the whole being. So if you're ready to rise, thrive, and elevate your life, stay tuned, enjoy the show, and thanks for listening. All right, welcome to the Flare Up Show. This show is produced by the amazing Clarissa Burt and In the Limelight Media. And today I have Ilona Csula Moric with me, who's amazing. She was born in 1958 and is a proud mother of two beautiful children. She graduated from Semmelweis University of Szeged's Faculty of Pharmacy in Hungary. She moved to Canada in 91 to begin her new life, where she lives in North Vancouver, British Columbia. So we're both Canadian, which is exciting. I don't always get to talk to Canadians on the show. She has not only embraced the joy of motherhood, but has also conquered personal medical challenges that shaped her into the inspirational figure she is today. She shares that story within the pages of her amazing book, The 10% Chance, where she vulnerably shares her triumphant personal odyssey. And the memoir is a testament to unwavering determination to surmount formidable obstacles, offering readers a glimpse into the power of resilience in the human spirit. Welcome, Ilona. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Chrissy. I appreciate for this interview.
Absolutely. I would love to just start with, without giving away all the details in your book, what did you go through to have the story to write about? What was sort of the experience that you went through that created the 10% chance?
Yeah, after my 50th birthday, when it looks like life is on the right track, my two teenage childrens are involved in everything, doing very well. I was doing well, like my family was basically thriving, and all of a sudden I experienced unbelievable headaches. Like, but it really just hit me like, and I thought, okay, I was working in a pharmacy, and I thought, am I getting migraines? This is what my first thought was.
Yes.
But the headache was just continued, uh, and honestly, like I never experienced something like this, the intensity and everything. So I tried to, like I was working in a busy pharmacy, so you don't have too much time to complain.
Yes.
And I just grabbed some ibuprofen, just to try to go through the day. But after the headaches, the next day it just got worse, and I started with nausea and vomiting and all these kind of things, and dizziness. It was out of. Anyhow, one evening when I went home from work and I stopped at the red light, I just noticed that people are banging on my window, and honking the horns. And I said, "Did I pass out?"
Oh my goodness.
In a car. The good things was that I was at the red light. The car was stopped. So anyhow, and I went home and, didn't want to scare anybody to tell them what happened. I just went to bed, but after then I started the vomiting, and it was, I thought, okay, maybe I have a stomach flu or something, but it was way worse than stomach flu. Anyhow, so Christmas was coming, and you know how mothers, we don't have time around Christmas. So,
Yes, yeah.
but
That's what most women catch colds and flus around Christmas because we
yeah,
stress
yeah,
ourselves out so much trying to make everything
so
perfect.
you basically don't have time to make a doctor's appointment. But then at my work, I stumbled almost felt in the sharp of the meds. And, I thought, and I did see that my colleagues were looking like, nobody said anything, but they were looking like, what's wrong with Ilona? And I realized, okay, something's wrong with me. This is not normal. Anyhow, I went to my physician and family physician, and she listened my complaints carefully, and her first response was, "I'm hoping it's not a brain tumor." And I looked at her like, can she say something like this to me? How should I say? Uh, I am a positive person. So I
Yes.
always think, okay, it is a solution that I can solve, but her just to say this one like you, I said, no, it's unbelievable. So I went back to my work, and in a car I was sobbing like, how can she do this to me? I definitely have to look for another position. How is it that when the denial is hitting you? So,
Strong, yeah.
well, anyhow, so, and she said, before we are, going to MRI and everything, we have to go through other exams to just to eliminate that. And those, because she said to me, we have to eliminate the vertigo and all these kind of tests.
Yeah.
And those exams were unbelievable for me, obviously, with the dizziness and everything. It was just, anyhow, I thought, okay, if we're going to continue at these exams, I cannot die. It was that intense.
They're bad.
So anyhow, finally, after 8 months, I went through MRI. And in the meantime, it was the kids were, Stephanie was in a dancing and Chris was in a music school. So we just dropped the kids and went home. And it was, we got in a car accident. It was a car accident on the road. So it was almost 11 o'clock at night when I got home. And I saw the message on my answering machine, my family physician. Called her back, and I thought, okay, it's 11 o'clock. I know that she had small children. I'm not going to call her at 11. But I was aware that she's going to confirm my brain tumor diagnosis. Sure, at 6 o'clock in the morning at that night, I didn't sleep anything. I just, tried to organize everything, the kids to go to school, and because I was sure that they are going to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And in the morning, I got the phone call, Ilona, why you didn't call me back? And I told her, and she said, I have to tell you that the MRI confirmed your brain tumor diagnosis. And her next question was, how fast you can be in a hospital, because Dr. Lafrey, the neurosurgeon, is waiting for you.
Wow.
And I said to her, well, I have to send the kids to school, and then I can go there. But in the meantime, my husband didn't know anything about what's going on, because how is it? We don't want to involve the men's, because it is then
Yes.
more worries, and I thought I can deal with it by myself. So anyhow, and we went to the hospital. And it looks like everybody was waiting for us. My family physician processed the admitting, like everything was rush, rush, rush. And I thought, oh, this is not sounds good.
No.
When I met with the neurosurgeon, he said to me, okay, you have a brain tumor. The good news is that it's benign, but the bad news is it is very large. And without removing it, you have maximum 1 year to live.
How
So
long?
I'm
1 month?
1 year.
1 year.
So he's because it is a meningioma type of brain tumor, is a very slow growing, and he said to me, "I'm going to perform the surgery in a couple of hours." So that shock, I was waiting and like it's definitely something that you never expect in your life. Anyhow, he came back in a couple of hours and he said to me, "Ilona, I'm not even going to go with the surgery. I contacted Dr. Lokagami in Vancouver, and he's expert on this type of brain tumors. And I just referred you to him, and he will take care of everything else." So after 2 weeks, we got the appointment with Dr. Lokagami, and he started talking to me about the complication of the surgery. And it was on a wall clock, and I just looked at it. And he was talking and talking and talking. And one complication was worse than another one. And I didn't understand because of my pharmacist degree. And I thought, holy moly, what I'm going to go through. Anyhow, we went in another room and he asked me at the end, "Ilona, do you have any questions?" And I said to him, "Well, Dr. Okagami, you listed plenty of complications. I have only one question. Is it possible that I will come out of this surgery with a normal brain function?" And he looked at me and he said, "Wow," and paused. And I thought, oh. And here came "wow," and he paused again. And at that point, my heart was racing, and I thought, is he going to tell me that it's no chance? You know how you are going to. At least I was hoping he will say, "Well, it's about 50%. And after second pause, he says, "Well, you have about 10% chance."
10%.
And I thought, 10%. Looked at him and, like he had that serious face. And I said to him, "Well, 10% is more than none, so let's go with the surgery." And it was funny how he listed the complications and he wrote, and he was talking about 20 minutes, just about, and one was worse than the other one. So anyhow, he said to me, "Okay, we are going to do surgery in 2 weeks, and we will go from there." And this is how it started, and I have to tell you, I was that lucky one because who went through every single complication happened to me. I was in a hospital for 4.5 months. I went through of uh, physiotherapy more than a year, and after almost 2 years, I got a long-term disability status. And that long-term disability status, I'm telling you, it hit me even more than the brain tumor surgery diagnosis, because I thought, my goodness, I am 50 some years old, and I'm disabled. That active person who was, doing everything, organizing and taking care of everything, all of a sudden is in a status of disability. So it's not easy to
No.
absorb and go through, and not to talk about the challenges that I went through. Like it was.
I used to work in disability management because I'm an occupational and safety specialist by trade. And one of the toughest things on people on disability or on workers' comp long term, you're exactly right. It wasn't so much the actual incident or the actual illness that bothered them so much. It was the loss of ability, loss of like they felt like they lost their purpose or they weren't
Yeah,
sure how they could contribute to life. It was very
yeah,
mental and emotional, where that part was much harder for a lot of people than the actual recovery or acceptance of the physical symptoms. So I totally
yeah. It
understand.
is. I totally agree with you. My main focus was I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep going and going and going, And I was really worried about I'm not going to fall into depression and all these kind of things. But every day, something just slapped me. And another thing, and it is really really hard for you, to stand up again on your feet, and it took me a couple of months basically to go down in my from my deck to my backyard.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Like I was so big, and you know, and one morning I was at home by myself, and it was a beautiful morning. And I thought, looked us out the window, and my apricot tree was in full blooming. And I said to myself, I'm gonna give the tree some water. I don't
Mm.
know what. I came with the idea. So anyhow, I took the hose and watered the tree and my rose bushes, and of course I fell.
Oh,
And I thought, oh my goodness. And it is funny, not funny, but before you are leaving the physio, they are making sure if you fall, you know how to get up. I tried about 10 times and I just felt like I just couldn't. The water was pouring on me, and I was scared, like how many times I heard about the other people fall and they can get up. And I said, this is what it's happening to me now, like in this disbelief. I was looking around, maybe some my neighbors will see me or something, but nobody was around. All of a sudden, I spotted my golden retriever looking at me. And I said to her, Scotty, can you come and help me? Can you imagine the desperation when you are asking your dog to help you? And believe it or not, the dog came right beside me and basically wiggled her back below my elbows. So I
oh,
was able to lean on her back, and she literally pushed me up.
oh, beautiful.
Uh, I just anyhow I have so much admiration for golden retrievers and dogs. It is something.
She should have been
But
like a Saint Bernard though and brought you like a jug of whiskey. That would have been even better, right? Like
well, I wasn't able to describe that. But anyhow, and from that moment, my golden retriever just didn't let me alone. It was always beside me, always around me, wherever I went. It
He was there. Yeah.
anyhow. So
So where are you at today in your healing journey?
well, it is 15 years now. I have an ongoing business. it is not going to get away. Medication can control it, but somehow I learned how to deal with it. I am weak and getting tired easily. When I am tired, or I do sit down.
Right.
So I try to get easy on myself because it's no point to make upset
Correct.
myself because the stress is just elevating the dizziness and everything. So what it was funny because when I received my disability status letter, I was on my deck looking at Okanagan Lake, and it was summer, listening all the summer from fun from the lake, and I was reading my paper, and I said to myself, "Wow, I am not going to feel sorry for myself 24/7. So what can I do? How can I say thank you for my medical team because they were honestly, unbelievable."
Mm-hmm.
And it just hit me, how about if I could write a book about my experience?
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, okay, after a brain tumor, yeah, you're gonna write a book. And it was funny.
I think it's great. What's the most important message? Like, what are you hoping the reader's experience is when they read your story?
Basically, never ever give up. If life knocks you down, just keep going and never give up. I know it's easy to say, and it's much harder to accomplish, but that perseverance and the determination to keep going and don't let any obstacles to defeat you.
What I really love about your story and how you've approached this, and it's sort of, it is tenacity and it's spirit and it's strength. But the key to that for you has also been loving yourself. So it's not about being hard on yourself and strength. It's about loving and embracing this version of yourself every day. That takes bravery in some ways because it's like, hey, this wasn't the deal, right? But the act of loving yourself to health and healing and to embracing yourself, I think is such a great message because you can't just say, oh, I'm not going to wallow or pity myself. It's really about actively loving and listening to your needs and caring for yourself. So I think that's a really important message for people to learn and to hear and to see in your experience that active action of self-love. It's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
And actually, uh, don't let anybody to turn you down or turn back. Like I know in the beginning I was hard on myself, like. Uh, But I realized that I'm not going to let anybody to push me down. I'm enough upset with myself that I can do many things. But slowly, I learned, to live almost a normal life.
Mhm. Mhm. I love in the book too, you talk about the 10%. I just love what you shared about just as you're about to undergo the surgery that you were literally saying to yourself, remember, I'm going to be one of the 10%. I'm going to be one of the 10% that lives a great life after this. And I just love that visual because even going probably one of the scariest moments in your life right in front of you, and you're like, 10%. We're like just so kind and loving and pep talking yourself. I love it. I love that picture. I just love that visual. Thank you for sharing that
Yeah,
in your book.
thank
It's
you, Chrissy.
important. What what has been the most rewarding part of writing your story and seeing the impact that it has out in the communities that are reading it?
The most important, I went through of all the emotions again, and but I was grateful that I remembered all those moments. And of course, tried to put my words down on the paper, but on the other side, I didn't want to scare people too much because it was funny. Somebody read my script and said, Ilona, your story is very scary. It was another menu. And I said, well, yes, it is scary, I know.
No, no. I'm not gonna
But what
lie.
is
I
the
was like, I'm feeling a little dizzy today. Am I okay? Shall I?
but what is the point if we are not going to share the real things? I
Yes.
just want to give hope to other people who are going through the same journey, or not maybe the same, but like a similar circumstances when you almost lose the hope,
Yes.
but you have to grab that string of hope somehow. Otherwise, you are not able to go through because the medical stuff is doing everything. I realized that what an enormous they went and milestone and everything. But I realized that I have to put as much effort into it as they put it. Otherwise, I wouldn't
Yes.
succeed.
Yes. I
And
think you have done this yourself, the healing, but you also, I know you mentioned in the beginning, like I didn't want to, burden people if there wasn't anything to worry about. I didn't want to involve them. I wanted to keep everyone else's lives as normal. But you also through this, obviously you had to lean on your community. And there's, I think, a beauty in that it's okay to ask for help, even if it's the golden retriever. It's okay to rely on other people because there's strength in community as well in healing, isn't there?
I have to say, it was unbelievable help that I received from my community. Like they were delivering meals uh, and everything. Like Christmas was coming finally. Before Christmas, it was December when I got home after 4.5 months, and I said to myself, I am not going to spend Christmas in a hospital. So I just started to tell my physicians, okay, I want to be home for Christmas. And they said, no, 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 we can take care of you at home. And
Yes.
it was funny. In Kelowna Hospital, it was after Vancouver, 54 specialists was taking care of my care.
Wow.
54. And I got this statistics from BC Medical asking me, did you see this specialist? Did you see that specialist? Like 54 specialists was involved in my care. So
Amazing.
like this is how serious my condition was, and here I am today, and this is what I want to tell people. We all go through difficult times. Just keep going.
Just
Keep going.
keep going. Where can
Yeah.
people find your book, Ilona?
The easiest way they can find Amazon.
Yep, Amazon. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And I would appreciate every help because this book means a lot to me.
Yes.
Uh, uh, I got a praise from my publishers that it is very well written, and well, and my pride is that I wrote. So it wasn't, that somebody else did for me. And it was funny. I met my neurosurgeon who started me on this journey 2 years ago. And he said to me, Ilona, I have to tell you something. None of us, not even the most positive one, thought that you are coming out of this surgery like this. And I thought, you know what, this is the biggest gift that I got from my medical team, and of course, family and kids and everybody, friends. So this is why I want everybody to keep this in mind. Whatever it's crisis strikes you, just keep going.
Just keep on going.
Try to focus on that green light and keep going.
Thank you so much, Ilona, for sharing your story and your book with us and your heart. It's been a real joy talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chrissy. I appreciate for this interview.